All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Hi, how are you? Oh, okay. Good stuff. Well, where were we? Yesterday, the last several days, we've been looking at Spring integration, and I wanted to talk to you about the file stuff, file system adapters and all that kind of stuff. And it occurs to me we're going to need an FTP server, and that reminded me that we could really have a fun conversation about the Apache FTP server, which I think is the same one as the Mina. I think it's the one that spun out of the Apache Mina project. Right. Hey, no problem. Thank you so much. I don't have a lot, but I'm happy to share what I've got. Hi, good morning. Hello. Hi. Good to see you. So yeah, anyway, like I'm just thinking, well, gosh, we need to have an FTP server. Let's explore. And I actually have a fair bit of a history with this thing. I'm not saying I'm good at it. I'm just saying I've loved it from afar for many, many years. Hello. Hi. Hello. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good evening. Let me see. I am, it's a very exciting day today, right? Today is, so March 20th or March 21st, meteorologically, they're the beginning of spring, my favorite season, as you can imagine. I mean, who doesn't love spring, by the way? Like, I love the framework, but I love the season as well. So anyway, not controversial. And then yesterday was the Nowruz, right? This basically Persian new spring holiday. And then today, of course, is Ramadan, right? So tonight, I suppose, kicks off Ramadan. So happy Nowruz and Ramadan to all those who celebrate, and to the rest of us who just love spring, good stuff too. It's a good time to be alive. I'm really glad we're all here. The sun, yesterday we had the craziest bonkers weather. I mean, absolutely nuts, right? Yesterday, after we finished the stream yesterday, I mean, I live in a skyscraper, right? I'm above the ground by like 12 stories, which isn't that high. The building goes up to like 50 stories, right? But I'm well above the ground, and there's a pool. Oh my God, I can't even describe it. It's so weird. There's a pool on the 7th floor, right? And the pool, water from the pool was being pulled into the air past my level, my unit, right? So the pool was on the 7th floor. I'm on the 12th. That's 4+ floors. It was going above my unit. So I guess it's 5+ floors, right? And it was just insane. I mean, crazy. Water was being pulled out of the pool 5 floors up. I could see it from my couch in the living room. And there's water, and it's oh God. So I rushed out because it was raining. I'm like, okay, rain, who cares? I go out to the I go look at the window, and there are people downstairs walking like this, trying to cross the street. And then there's trash bins. Somebody had brought out some trash bins, and they were sat on the sort of across the street on the sidewalk. And I saw them, and then I went. That's over there. The intersection's over here. I'm looking at the pool over here, just in disbelief that water is being sucked out of the pool. I noticed also that the furniture, the pool furniture, lounge chairs, very heavy lounge chairs, tables. One had gotten sucked into the pool. Another one had gotten sucked into the jacuzzi. And then I look back over there on the other direction at the intersection, right? Because I'm looking within my condo and I'm looking without, right? And I look at on the other side and I see the three giant, huge, full bins of trash had now been knocked over by the wind and were blowing across the intersection, right? They were just sliding across the intersection on their own volition, just wind. We don't have this kind of weather in San Francisco, friends. This isn't Kansas. We don't have cyclones or hurricanes. It just never, ever happens, ever. Never. I've never seen anything like this in my life in California, for that matter. It's just, wow, what a day. So, yeah, I'm just really glad to be here. The building was rattling. My balcony door, the door that feeds onto the balcony that then overlooks, the city, it's exposed to the wind, obviously. And so the door is deadlocked, it's sealed as can be. And it was rattling. The whole building was shaking. It was weird day yesterday. I'm super glad we're all here. Hope you're all doing good as well. Well, hi. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. Hello, Suresh. Hello, my friends. I appreciate you. The code for the code is in the top of my little background there, but it's usually GitHub, github.com, Coffee Software Show. So let me paste that here, and then we'll pin it or whatever the right thing is called. Hello. There, so you can get the code for everything we do, including today's little adventure. And I have yet to set the repository up, but I will. You can find the code there. Yeah, just good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so we are going to today just revisit the Apache FTP server. Let me see that everything's done as it should be. Here we go. Move this. Okay, give me a second here, friends. Downloads. Okay. I have to archive off. Deb, I'm sorry, man. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to screw it up, so I punted and just chose a generic name. It's really nice to meet you, Deb. Thanks for being so patient. Stupid American, I'm not very good at the names and places and facts and ideas and anything between the ears. Not good at any of that stuff, so forgive me. Okay, so let me see. Share my screen. Present. Is my screen resolution huge? I want it to be huge. I want it to be. It does feel bigger. Okay, there we go. Good. Share my screen. Share screen. Apache screen. Okay, good stuff. So we are going to. Here's the Git repository. So github.com, Coffee Software Show. I'll put a repository there now, and we'll put the Apache FTP server code, if any. Well, hello, LinkedIn user. Nice to see you as well. So Apache FTP server. I think it's one word. Apache FTP server. Yeah, FTP server. Yeah, it looks like one word, right? Apache FTP server. So I'm gonna call it that, and we'll just make this repository public. Obviously, everything is, if it's in this organization, unless it's private, it's Apache to licensed. Even if there's only one way, well, I don't know. It doesn't have to be one way. I'm talking to you here, right? Hello, Syed. How are you? Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Yes, I'll be talking about that. I only see LinkedIn user. Yeah, exactly. I don't know to whom this refers, but okay, so Maven. No, not Maven. What am I doing? Gradle. Okay. Even my reflexes for GitHub are still tied to Maven. Oh, Matthias. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see. Okay, so we'll copy that. downloads, git clone. Actually, you know what? CD desktop, git clone, authenticate. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so what we're going to do today, friends, is we're going to set up Apache FTP Server so that we have an FTP server with which to work when we resume our discussion of Spring integration. So Apache FTP Server came out of, I mean, you can see it's been around for a minute. It comes from Apache Mina, right? I think it was actually a demo. I could be wrong. It came from Apache Mina. Mina is I think I talked about it the other day. Trustin Lee, the gentleman who created Netty, Netty. And by the way, shameless plug, it just occurred to me. Have you all been to JFocus? This show is one of the best, and we missed it. I missed it this year, but because I had COVID. But go see this. If you're anywhere near this show in Stockholm every year, you should definitely go. It just occurred to me. Matthias is here. Want him to know I care, because I do. Okay. So this project started as a demo for Apache Mina, which was the non-blocking I/O library, very similar in intent and in architecture to some extent as Netty. And I had Trustin on the podcast a year or two ago, and he even talked about it. And basically, he created Netty, I think, and then at some point there was an attempt to bring it in as part of the hello from Switzerland, hi from San Francisco, hello. There's an attempt to bring it into Apache, so they created a new project that was Apache 2 licensed, and that's this. And I think eventually he just decided to go back to Netty, and so he's since gone on to do other amazing things. But Netty was and is no doubt the thing for which he's most well known, obviously. So this is a demo. It wasn't even like, I don't think they were just trying to build a demo of what you could do with Apache Mina. So they built an FTP server, and it works really well. So we'll set that up today. We don't need to. The nice thing about this is you don't need to dive too far into the non-blocking code. It's just an FTP API. You just configure it, and it's embeddable, sort of like a Tomcat for FTP, or Jetty or Netty for FTP. So let's see. We can try. I mean, this is the hard part, right? There you go. We also need to set up authentication, and that's the thing we're going to struggle with today. I haven't done this in a minute, so we'll figure it out. I probably have some code somewhere that does this as well. So I don't think it'll be all that long a stream. The real fun is, okay, I want to start it, I want to embed it, I want to also set up authentication, and then, fingers crossed, maybe we can turn it into a native image. I don't know, but we'll try, okay? In the meantime, happy to answer questions. Somebody asked a question about any roadmap or suggestions for those who want to contribute to Spring and Java. Well, first of all, you got to have an itch, right? We've talked about this before. People who want to work in open source, you shouldn't just want to work on Spring just because you want to work on Spring. You want to solve a problem. And I assume you do, but I'm just telling people who are otherwise not so motivated. And then once you've gotten that far, we try to make it as easy as possible. If you go to all the GitHub issues on the various Spring projects, so github.com, spring-projects, for example, spring-boot, you'll find issues that are labeled like ideal for contribution or ideal for novices, or some label that indicates that we put them out there just so that people can pull them down, leave them a message or two saying, hey, I'd be willing to try, please mentor me, blah, blah, blah. I have this idea, that idea, what do you think? And so if you want to contribute to that, if you want to contribute to open source, that's the easiest way with the Spring projects. Java it's the same basic approach, right? OpenJDK is an open source project, and you can contribute, but that's another one where I can't really speak to, whether they have issues or not. And that's infrastructure code at the core, right? You might end up doing documentation or something like that before they let you start committing to the kernel of the JDK itself, But either way, same basic approach. Be humble, go there with hat in hand, find an issue that you think you can help, leave a note, and maybe, just maybe, they'll let you, contribute and they'll mentor you. You know. Okay, so let's try this out. So let's see, where are the dependencies? We are, well, first of all, which version are we on? This is HTTPD, embedding FTP server in 5 minutes. That's this right here. Okay, sources, mailing list, FTP server. Okay, well, I guess we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Go to start.20.io and figure it out from there. So FTP server, okay. Okay, and we're gonna use GraalVM native image support, and that's it. I don't know what else we need. Maybe Lombok, maybe a little bit of logging would be nice. Who knows? We'll generate that, and cd downloads. Okay, let's see. We'll let that do its thing. Didn't I do this before? I feel like I've done this code somewhere before. Can't be that hard, right? What is the version? Well, first of all, what's the version? Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what version we're supposed to be using of the dependency. I guess we'll just end up on Maven repository. Okay, whatever. Let's just figure this out. So go to the build .gradle, and we're going to end up on mavenrepository.com. So we're looking for Apache FTP Server. Okay, that looks useful. So it's not been updated super recently, but you know, March of last year. That's not. It's a year old, more than a year old. So that's a little sad, but still useful. It's not like they've got a huge working effort to update FTP these days, right? FTP is, as it always has been, FTP. Did you see that? I copied and pasted. I copied and pasted the dependency from the Maven code on Maven repository, and I pasted it in IntelliJ. Oh, that was so cool. Anyway, there you go. So there's our thing. We're gonna go ahead and re-import this. Let's see. Here we go. Got the friendly reminder that this doesn't do what you think it's gonna do. Java. Okay. So according to this document, according to this is all you got to do. So let's just try that. Let's create an application runner. Bean runner FTP service. And I don't know if we need to do it like a thread or what. Like, do I have to start off kick off a new thread? Hey, Navia, no problem, man. I'm sorry I got to it so late. It's just I get lost in the thread. If I don't answer your question in time, and you know, really think I should, then maybe ask again. That's like I have mods or anything. Okay, so here's the FTP server and the server factory. I'm not sure what the server factory buys me. Let's see what this does. I don't even know what this buys me. Does this block? That's the question. Like, do I need to start this in a new thread? Okay. Init started equals true. Looks like it doesn't block because there's no it logs out when it started, so it must not block, right? So let's just see what that does. Let's see here. FTP server started. Good stuff. Right on. Okay, so let's see. Okay, the FTP server is up and running. That's not enough though, right? Like I could. That's, oh, by the way, that's the other thing. Do we have an FTP client? FTP FileZilla. Okay, FileZilla. You need a client, something you can use to. So brew search FileZilla. This is an open source project. Well, it used to be. Why isn't it on Homebrew? Huh. Why isn't it available as a, well, oh, they want to upsell. I get it. Okay, so all we need is standard FTP. All this other stuff is nice, but, oh, so that's not great. So in order to get them, there's a, do you have to pay for the manual, or is that just free as well? But you have to pay for this one. Okay. So who knows if there's a better FTP client? I mean, my knowledge is a little old here. Let me see. Easy FTP clients. We could use Spring integration, but that's a. I want to have something that's known to work, right? I don't want to be developing both things in the dark. So. Block. WinSCP, CyberDuck. I've heard of CyberDuck. That's been here for decades. That was available on Mac back in like 2000, right? Transmit. Oh, I've heard of that one. Transmit. Oh. Right. Free FTP. I don't have WinSCP because I don't have Windows. See, this is adware. Okay, transmit. Let's just try transmit. You know, what could go wrong? So brew search transmit. There it is. Brew install transmit. Do I need to do brew install cask or brew cask install? Okay. Okay, so now we got transmit. Let's try using it. Open it, please. Okay. Sure. No thanks. Okay, now with Panic Sync. What is Panic Sync? Welcome to 7 days left. Oh, this is not open source. You have to buy in 7 days. Okay, friends. Well, if you want to use this, do as I do. Use it now, and then buy it later when it's good, when you want it. Okay, so server. So I have to set up a server. Quick connect. I just want regular old FTP, local host. I don't even know if I don't know what the username and password is on the server that we have just set up. So remote path. Connect. Is there a username and password? Okay, user anonymous, guest login, okay, send your complete email address as a password. Okay. Let's try this again. So, Josh. Okay. You login failure. Okay. Guest login. Is it just guest? I mean, we see user anonymous. Guest login. Do I just say guest is the password? Or the username? So guest. Well, okay. Clearly we need users. So let's talk about the easiest way to do that. Okay, close this down. Go back to this. Okay, so port. Let's customize it a little bit here. The port. Server factory. No. Okay, what is this? If this is not the server factory, okay, wait. Let's just copy and paste code until it works. So sad. Okay. Mozilla has just launched a new startup focused on trustworthy AI. Wonder where I heard that from. Let's see. Okay, so I still don't know the user. I don't want SSL. I want users. Okay, server factory set user manager. Okay, so server factory set user manager. User manager? Yikes. Okay, that's not that bad though. Okay, wait. So class simple. Well, let's just try the property one first. I was about to implement it myself, but it occurred to me it's probably a waste of time for the moment. Okay, and then so good. What does that give me? So user manager. What do they do here? They say set file. Actually, you know what? Let's just copy and paste. So okay. So we've got the file, which is a just anything, I guess. So users dot properties. Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. And this is supposed to be properties user manager factory. User manager factory set file. Okay, user manager. Hey Simon, how are you, man? Set file. It's got to be a file. Copy reference. Absolute path. Okay. Just keep it as straightforward as possible. Put that class. Right. That looks like it should do the thing that we're hoping it'll do. But we don't know what properties are supposed to be in that file. So, hello, PM. How are you? Hello, Simon. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody who's just joining me. We're looking at Apache FTP Server. We're gonna configure it so that we have a FTP server that we can use within Spring Integration. So when we resume our thread on that stuff tomorrow. But today, friends, I'm just trying to figure out how to embed it, and I'm adding a server factory for the. Let's see, did I do that? Yeah, I did that here. FTP server start. We need users, and it's saying we need a property file called myusers.properties. But what's supposed to be in there? What is supposed to be? Okay, let's try this. Okay, so we want users. Documentation. User manager. File-based user. Oh, there's a database one. That's even cooler. So file is the path to properties file for storing users. Fantastic. Required no default MD5. Okay, good. So it's going to store passwords as is it going to write it for us? I don't understand what's the use case there. How do I use it? Okay, documentation. We need to figure this out. Managing users, haha. Oh, you're supposed to, oh, it's persisting it to that. Neat. Oh, so you've got to programmatically add them? That's kind of nifty. I don't like that at all, actually, but let's try it. Okay, so we need to use the user manager. That's this thing right here. We need to stash that somewhere and then initialize it with some users, right? Private static void init users. And we'll use the user manager and just throw the exception just in case. And we need to add some users. So the usernames and the passwords in the home directory. I see. Okay, so var root home directory equals new file system property utils.resolve placeholders home desktop. Okay, FTP root. So that's this thing right here. And then what else do we need? We need some users. So we create a user. So var user set.of. Let's just create some users here. Some random users, I guess. Okay, so for each user, we want to create a base user. Yes. And each base user has a user. Wait, what? Oh, it has, okay, so you don't have to specify anything. I guess that's just a copy constructor. And then bu.set enabled equals true. bu.set name equals user. bu.set password is pw because of course it is. And user.set home directory. It's a string. Oh, is that relative to the? Wait. Is that relative to the root? Do we have to specify a root somewhere? I was imagining that this corresponded to like a file system somewhere. Okay, so home directory equals FTP root. But what is the FTP root? Actually, for that matter, where is our set password encryptor? Okay, so FTP. Let's just try it. So FTP home directory, FTP root. Okay, and then init users, user manager dot set user manager factory. Okay, set new MD5 new. Okay, whatever. For now, let's just do this. Just a debug. We're on the same page. Now that we've got these users, we can add them to the user manager. Add save. Okay, and I'm just gonna call this user. Pretty. All right. And this will be username. Ready. So that's fast. It's not even GraalVM right now. It's just 0.3 seconds. I love Spring Boot. Okay, root. So I guess we don't need this right now. Let's just I did all that work. I think I have a feeling I'm gonna need something like this later. So okay, fine. Just get rid of it. Okay, moving on. So now what? Localhost long pw. I need to specify anything. It worked. Downloads. Okay, if I add something, will it create a directory somewhere? So let's copy this into here. Could not upload, permission denied, could not start data transfer. Okay. So it connected, it gave me a root directory, but not allowed to do anything. So that's interesting. So what does that mean? Did it write anything to that file, I wonder? Look at that. So it's persisting everything in that file for us. That's kind of cool. But we don't have, it's obvious, JLong doesn't have write permissions. User write permission equals false. So how do we make it so that Josh JLong does have write permissions? Okay, user dot set permission, set authorities, enabled. I already did that, right? So, okay, we're close. We're close, people. How come we don't have write permissions? Okay, FTP Server 1.0, 1.20. Documentation, managing users. Oh, apparently this thing comes with a Spring XML namespace. Don't use the XML, please. But that's kind of interesting. It's that old, right? It's old enough that it both comes with Spring support and it's not Spring Boot support. Okay, so let's. How do I know? User dot set home directory authorize. Get home directory enabled. Get password. I wonder what this authority refers to. So list of authority or set of authority. What's an authority? I know what it is conceptually. I just don't know what this is. Can authorize. Okay, interface for an authority granted to the user. Typical examples: write access or the number of concurrent logins. Okay, so clearly we're on the right track. Write permission, transfer rate permission, and concurrent login permission. So we have to set those. Okay, so new write permission. What does that mean? So is it just quote, quote? I don't understand what that is. Okay. Then why is this so sad? It has to be authorities, right? So list. Okay. Well, that seems simple enough. Let's just try that. Okay, pick two. So can I copy and paste? Well, first of all, am I already connected? Do I have to refresh? Whatever. Let's just try it. Error on output file received. Store help. File status okay. About to open data connection. Help error on output file. Okay, what about just that? Like, also, is there a directory around here somewhere? Build. No. What about this property file? So it says write permission is true. So I do have write permission. Okay, that's good. JLong home directory is. So this is like, it doesn't. It's not making me feel like it understands where it's supposed to go. And in fact, I don't trust this at all. So where's that file that I just deleted? File root equals new file root Good. So can I just use that, please? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this one. Set authorities, new authority, right permission. Okay. Let me try that in a second here. Oh, it looked like it even stored it. But where? Okay, let's try this again. Where's my directory here? Finder, please. Hey, cool. Okay. It worked. We just don't know where it put it. Root. Yeah, that worked. So that directory. So this is supposed to be nothing, and then the directory that it wants for the home directory is an absolute file. Okay, that makes more sense. So allow, please. We want those errors to be right in our face. Okay, so that's good. We've got a basic system. Now, obviously, let me check this in. Let me go ahead and commit my atrocities, persist them, and yeah, thank you, Mustafa. I think we just realized what you told us, which is that the home directory is absolute. That makes sense. So let's commit this. I'm going to close my IDE for just a second and move everything to a Git repository, committed, and then we'll continue. The next step for me, obviously, I want to have my own custom user system, right? So we'll close that out. Like, files are fine, but that's not what I'm here for. What am I going to do here? So where's my directory? Did I clone the? That's the thing. We created the repository earlier. Did we clone it? Don't close that. Okay. Definitely don't close the StreamYard stream. Very awkward. GitHub.com Coffee Software Show. Apache FTP Server. Actually, I should rename this to Let's Code. There we go. Name. Let's Code. Okay, so let's code Apache FTP Server, and then where's this code of ours living? Downloads. Okay, so cd downloads FTP Server, git init, copy desktop Apache FTP Server .git config to .git config, git add, git status. Okay, refresh this. Okay, so it's there. Okay, it's not great, but it's there. What is this exactly? That's our first attempt at the code. So let me see if I have anything else here that we need to worry about. So in the boat, you gotta make sure it's all, you got it working or you didn't. So okay, clone that terminal, desktop, git clone this, cd FTP server idea build.gradle. I think we're making progress. I'm not like, I don't want to like tie this to LDAP or something. You know, I'm not trying to do super complicated authentication, but yeah, storing it in a property file, that's not going to fly. We need to do a little bit better than that. FTP server application. Okay, so I like this. Do I have to? So okay, I mean, do we have to? Can I split this out into separate beans, or is it too early for that? Let's just let's keep this code for now, just as it is, public static void main, and we'll swap out the user manager ourselves. Okay, so then the creation of the user manager is separate from the initialization of the users proper. Okay. And this is the properties user manager, but we're not going to keep that. We're going to swap it out for something different. So let's see here. Static. You can add a remote server in IntelliJ using FTP. Whoa. Yeah, I'm fine, Simon. I was just shaking, literally. I mean, it was, I live in a skyscraper, like I said, which was designed you couldn't live here. It wasn't livable in 2015. It's a new building, and so at the very top of the building, there's a giant water tank, huge water tank, and my understanding is that it sort of acts as like a ballast, right? So the wind pushes the building that way, the water sloshes that way, and it kind of stabilizes things, So it's designed to weather earthquakes and stuff like that. I live in earthquake country, right? California. And I could still feel like, I don't think the floor was moving or anything like that, but you could see windows warping, moving around all around in the building, my building and the next one. I could see it happening. It was pretty intense, Okay, so simple user manager. Actually, never mind. Let's just call it default. Every time you say simple, it jinx it. Okay, so user manager. That's our contract. Let's see here. Okay, this is the contract. This is pretty straightforward, I guess. Let's just try implementing it with a map. What do you think? You think we could do that? Final map of string. And then we want a record, I guess, or default user string username, string PW, and also, today is the 22nd. SDK list Java. Did they make Java 20 available yet? Crap. There it is, Java 20. So SDK install Java 20 open. I'm not going to make it my default because I need GraalVM, but it's there, right? You can download Java 20 on SDK Manager, by the way. Don't forget that. First, the last one to upgrade is a rotten egg. Upgrade now. Okay, good. Okay, default user manager. So user map. Can we do private records? Why not? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, and do we need static records? No, that's redundant. It's like an enum. For some reason, you can't make enum static. Just users, thank you. So simple stuff, okay? This.users.get username, okay? No, we need to turn a. Oh, okay, wait. How bad is this interface? Oh. Maybe I should just implement that. Okay, let's just try that then. Static class default user implement user. Get rid of that. And implement method. Yikes. Starting to add up very quickly. We have required args constructor. Yes, we do. Thank you, Lumbach. This dot username. This dot password. Authorities. Let's just say that we have the default one, which is new write permission. Wait, what? Is that the same as this one, but with like filter? Yes, I don't know. List. One more month for Graphium JDK 20. No, actually that's fine. I'll be in Europe most of April. No, I'll be elsewhere. I'll be in India in theory if we can get funding together. I'll be in India. I'll be in Netherlands and France. I'll be in Atlanta. So, I'll just between the airports, I'll look for Graphium Java 20 to brighten up my day. I'll need it. Okay, so authorization request. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Authorization request, authorize. Is it like an authorization response? What's the contract here? Like, why would they put that there? Oh, null is how you say no. Okay, well, I just want to say yes. So, I guess if request. It contains no password, no nothing. Well, how am I supposed to work on that? Oh, concurrent login, authorization request. Oh, so these are the authorities, right? Is that what it is? Concurrent login request. Wait. Right request. Oh, okay. These are the. Is there a default user that does a lot of this boilerplate for me? There is a default user. No, that's the one I created. Never mind. That's okay. So the request corresponds to the authorities, which I imagine. So okay, we can say var authorities equals this dot get authorities. Okay, and then we say okay. If request instance of write request. Okay. Then we search authorities. We say authorities.stream.filter AU instance of write permission. Okay, so find first, or sorry, filter dot find first dot or else null, right? So turn that. Yeah. So map WP to request, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Let's just see what that buys us. So that's this. Max idle time is, let's just say, I'm assuming this is milliseconds. So 10 seconds. No, make it 60. Shouldn't matter if it's non-blocking, right? Enabled is true. All my users are welcome here. Home directory. So that's the we decided that could be just like quote, right? That seems okay. Okay, there's our default user manager. User manager. That's our default user. Let's try this. So default users. look for all the user names. So we go here, we say this.users dot keys, right? That's the usernames. Dot to array. Okay. New string. Okay. And then what do we want to do if we want to delete? We say this.users dot remove username. Okay. And what about save? Save is interesting. What if I'm assuming everything is a default user. But what if somebody gives me a user object and it's not the one I want to use? Do I marshal that? How do I? Oh, that's what the copy constructor is, maybe. Wait a minute. So do I have a copy constructor like the other ones did? Base user. Yeah, okay. That's what they have, a copy constructor that we can use in templating. So given a, so this will become username, password. The authorities we compute on demand, so we don't need that. Don't need any of this. I do want the Boolean for enabled. I guess that seems like an interesting thing to not have hard-coded. Enabled. Okay. So there's our default copy constructor user thing. Okay. Default user. So we can save this now. So we're going to say du equals new default user, passing in the user, and then we just save this.users dot put is user dot name and du, right? Okay, seems legit. Wait, we want this to be. Okay, does it exist? This was obviously written with a map in mind. It's a shame they don't have like a map delegating version. You know, you just pass in the map of your choice and let it be done that way. Okay, contains key is actually faster than doing the get. Okay. Authentication. Uh-oh. Get admin name. What's admin name? He's admin. I don't know, whatever. We do root. Let's just do that. False. It's not an admin. What does this method do? Authenticate. So we go here, authenticate. So returns the authenticated account user. So given an attempt to authenticate, we return a user object. So for now, since we're just doing plain text and all the wrong things, don't tell Rob Winch, okay? This would make him very sad. Do not do that. He's a good person. Don't stress him out. So let's see. Authenticate. There's no way to know. Okay, username, password, authentication. So pw dot get pw our user okay, and we want to say, does this match something? I guess so. So what is the users? Okay, so if pw if this dot users dot contains key user. Or actually, no, wait. Var name matching user equals this dot users dot get or default username null. If matching user is not null, if match, and this is where things get really disgusting. So again, I'm not proud, but you know, MD5 is certainly a thing we should look at. If password can equals PW. All right. Oh, we need to return the user. So return matching user null. Does that make sense? And then we return null otherwise. So there's no, not in effect, there's no anonymous login for our FTP server. That's what I think I'm doing. Is that what we understood for this contract? Authenticate, or returns an authentication failed exception, which is throws authenticated. Okay, authentication failed exception. So it's not null. It's, well, that's a little inconsistent, isn't it? You have to return a null for the user, but an exception for the user manager. Okay, so if you get this far, by definition, new authentication failed exception. Okay. Good. Rerun this. Do we? Oh, we didn't. I can't run it. It's not doing the right thing yet. Oh, it is. It's. Okay, wait. Did the file move? I don't think it moved, did it? I'm not even interested in this, but I'm just curious as to why it thinks it's broken or defaulted or whatever. Okay, whatever. Let's just plug in our user manager. So now it's going to be one of these. So we'll say static class, static user manager, default user manager, because I'm great with names. Great with names. New default user manager, right? Seems real. Okay. Okay. Seems like I'm almost nervous because by definition at this point it should have already created 3 users. I don't trust that code at all. I know who wrote it. That person's an idiot. Let me see. Did it work? I mean, does it call this? Yeah, looks like it's okay. So it's actually plugged in the right stuff. Let's just let it go. Resume program. Okay, so now we just log in, I guess. Oh, stress. Okay. Maximum login limit. Okay, so we have clearly that concurrent business. We got to think about that. So, what authority should we return? Okay. What authorities does this thing return? The clear text, create user manager, properties user manager. Let me just look at the implementation of this thing. Load from URL super. Okay, admin user data. Load from file. Like, does it have a default value for this stuff? Transfer request. Wait, what? Save. So it's got all this like stuff designed to pre-calculate the response to those attempts, so that when it does the authorization, I guess it can just check these properties as opposed to having to do the these two, their concurrent login request and the transfer request. So it makes me think that these are like things that we need to think about. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, if it's this, okay, if the password is null, I didn't even think about that use case. Of course I didn't. I didn't think about timing-based attacks. I mean, there's just no reason to do your own authentication, people. Like, let's see. Okay, so for our thing, I don't know what the documentation isn't exactly helping me here, but I have an idea. We can try. So where's our authorities? We created it. Okay, that's the default user manager. Here's the default user. Oh, am I setting the authorities in the initialization code? I am. Aha. Okay, so we need to like, this is not getting copied. Remember, I'm not doing in the copy constructor. I'm not copying this, which is bad. So now I get what's supposed to happen here. So where's my user? I put this inside the user manager, but the user manager is in turn inside the main class. So let's just move the user manager out. It's gotten sufficiently big enough that I think it deserves its own little space. Okay. And so that's the default user. That can be its own thing as well. Okay. Good. So in the copy constructor, I guess we have to honor the authorities. Oh, but we are doing, hey, good question. We are looking at the Apache FTP server, which is a great way to build an embedded FTP server, file transfer protocol server, so that we can then use it in our Spring integration stream where we talk about file transfer. And so this is a little digression. Those of you who are just joining us, welcome. And also, I'm going to sit down. All right. Oh, let's see. So my question is, what is this doing? Is this failing? Var authorities. I think for now, just to make sure this is not a failing issue, because it looks like we're inlining, hard coding the default write permission authority, which is all we did for the last one when we had properties. Maximum login limit. So I think we just need to like get authorities. New. What I'm confused about is why didn't we have this issue for the property one? And then what was the other one that we said we wanted to use? Like permission, authority, transfer rate permission. What is that? Max download rate. Is this in bytes? What is this? Max download rate. The max upload internal class. No kidding. Well, okay, thanks. So So I don't know. What's that number supposed to be? Okay, so first one is max download rate. Let's just call that this and more. Yeah. Okay. Take 3. All I want is a successful hello world. Not quite. Maximum login limit has been reached. So we're doing something very simple but very wrong. Don't know what it is. Okay, authorized. Is it this? How much would I bet it's something like this? Okay. Delete. Okay, so now it's asking. Oh, okay. So I was returning null here. And so, of course, that's not going to work. So the concurrent login request. So I just need to return the request, I guess. Can I just return request for now? Like, let's assume. Stop. Let's just assume that everything is allowed. Is this the thing that makes it allowed? Huh. Okay. So that worked. So okay, so we've got this. We've got the 3 cases that we need to care about, right? Concurrent write equals cancel that for now. So we have these 3 tests. We have the concurrent write request. So how do I extract that out to be like general? So static authorization request, find and return, or just find. And then we want the list of authorities, right? List is list of extends authority. And we want the Boolean. We don't want the Boolean. So, okay, there's that. And then we have the request, which is the authorization request. Okay, so the test that we use for this. The test is, we need a Boolean, right? We need a Boolean that says, that we can use to filter it, right? So we have a function, a predicate of authority filter. So we say return authorities, which have these, dot filter dot find first find first, find any, I don't care, dot or else no. So what does that give us? That gives us a type of authority, but not a request. So if we find it, we want to then, so okay, var authority. Okay. If null does not equal authority, then return the request. Otherwise, return null, which we could simplify to say null does not equal authority. Request null. Okay. So now, does that make it better? Did we actually do anything there? I'm not even sure. My head's kind of spinning here. So, okay. Var CW equals find authority equals write permission, and then AU, okay, there's that. And then we pass in the authorities themselves, and then we pass in the request. That makes sense? So, and then we want the write rate var concurrent. Okay, so we'll say find AU instance of rate permission authorities request, and then this is equals to find AU instance of concurrent login permission authorities request. That kind of makes sense. What did I just do there? Did that time anything? So we've got 3 values. Do we care? What do we care about here? Like, is there a way I could have done that in a more efficient way? Probably. But basically, I just reevaluated the same test 3 times. Or like, this is only going to need one of these tests, right? But I ran all 3 of them, which is annoying, but whatever. Okay, let's see. So if that worked, then we should have gotten request back. And I guess we can just see if any of them is null, right? Like, so okay, that's a bit tortured, but I think that works. Whatever. Let's just see if it gets us where we're trying to go. I definitely want to rework this. This is ugly, but at least I understand. At least I think I understand what's happening. Nope, it's broken, and it threw an exception. Oh, duplicate element concurrent login request. Oh, it's a set, right? Because I always return the same request. Okay, so list. Okay, we might be on the right track. Who knows? Hey, failure. Wait, what? Using it. Okay, hide this. What's the password? Did I not set the password? Usernames. JLong PW. That looks correct, right? Okay. Am I using an encryptor or something like that somewhere that I need to like disable for this? I am. User manager factory set clear text. No, that should be just the password. Okay, so clear text password encryptor. Okay. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. So user manager factory set password encryptor. User manager. So I'm just returning the default user manager. There's nothing to do here. So password username enabled true. Oh. So for now, the home directory, can we just assume that gets created? What if we use our user, default user? What do I don't even need the copy constructor here. So user, oh, I could have just created my own type there and used that directly, right? So we could say, and then this just becomes a delegate. So I say this dot user dot get name, user dot get password, user dot enable. Okay. So now, what's the issue with that? No need for this. I can use my default user, the username, pw, true. So then the question, of course, is what's the home directory? I guess we left that to ourselves in the user manager somewhere to figure out, right? Didn't we? We have to figure it out somewhere. Where do we figure that out? Where's the default home directory? And just to make it very simple, let's just assume that everything is as it should be. No nefarious uses here. Return the request. Great. Where's the home directory? And oh, okay. So this still needs to be a real directory now. For the user, are we in the user or the user manager? We're in the user. So the user needs to have the home directory passed in. Okay, I get it now. File home root, and then this will be file root. Okay, and we want the directory. New file root username. Assert state this.root.exists or this.root.appears. The directory could not be created. Okay. This.root. Okay, that's a path. Okay, so assuming we have this directory, what do you think? Let's see here. Username. I'm just returning a hard-coded list of permissions, so it's like every user has those permissions. The authorities, I'm not even, just we assume, I'm not sure what this is supposed to do or who uses it or when, but it might be a problem. Let's restart and see what we got. So we need to provide the root directory now, that's fine. So var root equals new file cd root might be a root cd root pw db copy. Okay, and so the user, but all right, let's try that again. So assuming the user, I guess the user manager is the one that should have the copy of that file, huh? And should just pass it down to the record that gets created, maybe. So we can use the copy constructor for save in case somebody passes something in. So where's that file? It's down here, but the user manager should also have it, right? I think that seems reasonable. So where's my users? Init users. File. Private. Okay. So we want this to be the user manager that has it. So pass in private file root. So now that you have to create the user manager with a root directory in place, and it's going to get passed. This is going to be the home directory. So say home. Okay. So default user. Okay. Does that work? Default user manager, root. Username, PW. I tied myself into a bit of a knot here, friends, but that's okay. We're close. So, default user manager. The user manager has the root as well. So this is not actually the root. This should be like user manager get home directory for or something like that. We should have like a thing that delegates to that logic. But actually that's in the default user, isn't it? So the default user creates a directory based on the home, root, and the username. Okay, that's fair. So they're all sharing the same data at this point. Ooh. Okay. Okay, restart. Default user. But the default user can't have that. Okay, I see. So is it that you just can't use? Oh wait, we can actually just insist that this be a default user, right? So assert state user instance of default user. You must use the correct subclass of user for this implementation. Okay, I guess so. So now what? Can we just pass in user directly? That certainly would simplify things, right? Take 3,000. Authentication failed. Need a password for JLong. So the username is okay, but the password is wrong. Why is the password wrong? What does it think is happening here? So let's do a look at this when that happens. Okay. And then we'll just drag a file here. Okay, so now, is this a username and password authentication? Yes, it is. Good. Next line. Password is PW. Username is JLong. So does the users have a key of JLong? Yes, it does. Okay. Matching user. We got the user. Makes sense. So if it's not null, then does the password for what is the matching user password? It's PW. And what's the password that they're passing in? PW. So like, what could go wrong? Okay. True. So if the matching user has the password that matches the authentication attempt password, then we return the matching user, which is our friend right here. That's me. And it's got the correct home directory, home JLong, desktop root JLong. Okay. Otherwise, we return null. So it feels like it should work. Wait, what? Why are we back here? Authentication. What is this? Huh. There's an extra attempt. Why is it attempting 2 times? What is this business right here? Username, init address. Oh, it's trying to do like some sort of secure thing. Okay. Yeah. No. That's not what I want. 42, 42, 42, 42. Why is it all 42? What's going on here? So, I see. Password is a string. Coder, #0, #0, false. User metadata, certificate chain, INET address. So that's this. I feel like we're talking at odds here. So why did this try and do that 3 different times? So let's go back. Can we configure the settings? How do we go back? Oop. So the first time that comes across clearly, right? It's clearly doing the right thing here. So I don't know why on subsequent attempts it just fails. So let's see, authentication. That makes no sense. Makes no sense. And then it's failing. Okay, so is it because we have cancel? I don't want to. File, servers, window. Wait, you can use this on the iPad? That's kind of cool. Go to, connect to. Go to. How do I log out of something? Okay, there we go. So passive mode, PW. So do I need like a host name, like config? I mean, it's connecting the first time. Why is it having trouble? Is it trying to authenticate the file content? You mean, what is the content of the second path? I don't know. It's giving me a, well, okay, I can try. Yeah, sure. Okay, hold on. Let me just try one thing here just to see if Handmade is trying to be too smart. PW. So that's fine. And then this is the value of the second one, right? So evaluate expression dot evaluate. It's this bytes. And so if I take those bytes, oh, I mean, here's the string, right? It's masked. Why is it setting that? Why does transmit send asterisks? Transmit app. Transmit. Well, okay, I don't know. I'm kind of confused about that. Is it the FTP client or is it the FTP server? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What is happening and where that this would fail. So is there a different FTP client I can use? Command line FTP client. SolarWinds. Linux. Oh yeah, okay, that's fair. So wait a minute, let's just try that. Pro FTPD. FTP localhost. So how do I get local FTP? Do we have LS FTP? Get FTP, Pro FTPD, Classic FTP, Crush FTP, LFTP. Root install. Okay, we're going to try this the old-fashioned way. What have I got myself into? Look at all this stuff it's downloading. Okay. So LFTP. I was expecting some help. They wanted to play. Okay, let me see. So commit. Oh, come on, really? So user localhost. Okay, so yo, hey. Okay, so far so good. Not so good. String index out of range. Oh, but that's okay. That we can deal with. Wait, was that the issue we were having before? Wait, did this connect? Requested action not to. Okay, so this is, what is the issue here? Native file system view. It's the native file system factory. Wait a minute. Why does it care about a file system? Is it because of our root directory or something like that? So the home for this. Okay. By the way, that's when I should be using select for J. Wait, what? Home should be root. Home directory should be. Oh, yeah, no, this dot home. Okay. So do those directories exist? Looks like they do. They must. Yeah, so create those directories. Didn't upload anything, I noticed. Thank you for nothing. But it's there. So let's say I restart. So what's the issue there then? Okay, so the home directory. Oh, it's this. This.home.get absolute path. Okay. So now it worked. Okay. So what about this original one? Does that work now? Connected. File. Wrote the file. All right. So go here. There it is. Okay. So we have a working FTP server. It's not great, but it does work. Let's save this before I break it again. Custom user management. Okay. So now, what about these permissions? Because this is obviously not going to work. We can't just like let people go through unchallenged, right? I think I made it too complicated before, and so therefore it wasn't going to work. Although maybe it will work because I was just breaking the file system stuff is broken, so this couldn't have. It didn't matter if this worked, right? It couldn't have done the right thing anyway. So okay, I still don't like this. There's definitely got to be a better way, but for now, let's say We're going to reset. Stream of, great. In IDE, do the talking, find any. Okay. And that, and then this. Good. Look, so we've got like a not great, but it's working FTP server. I'm kind of happy about that, actually. And this means that we could, in theory, plug our user manager into not a user details, or maybe a user manager, like a Spring Security user manager, not a user details service, which is read only basically. But there are some of those that are read and write, you know. Or we could also plug this into a database, like the password could, you know, all that stuff could be read out of a SQL database. Okay. So what's the command to put? Do you just put a file? Like desktop, it's got file completion. So did that work? Oh, we know that worked. Let me delete it again. There it is. Yeah, okay. So from the command line, it's connected and it's setting the files up. So this test, is that broken? The test is saying, look at all the incoming authorities. Look at all the authorities that we have here, right? Inline that, we're caching the result of this. We're not doing a filter, so we should do a filter here. We should say stream.filter a dot get class is assignable from. Is it the other way around or what? Okay, find that was two lists, I guess. Okay. So does that do anything useful? Var ops turn ops log.info have the following ops to a string, I guess. We read that. And then we just concatenate that, and that's class.getName. So this doesn't even get used in this case. Like it looks like it's not being used. I guess is the idea that I could avoid this by having that. Right? Like I could avoid my weird test there. Yeah, okay, it's so okay, so what is find? Authority is a right permission. So it's asking me, okay. It's asking me to find, given a collection of authorities, of which there are 3, this one found the right permission using this custom predicate. Okay, so that's good. And then the authorization request is what? What is the authorization request? So that's not going to matter. So if it's a, that's the wrong approach. Let's just simplify here, friends. So if request instance of concurrent login request CLR, then we say, then we look and see if we have a filter. Then we filter to see if we have an authority based on a particular type. So then we say return get authorities from current login permission class dot empty null request. If request instance of rate enter rate request, then we say return get authorities transfer rate request dot class is empty null request. And transfer rate permission. Okay. And then finally, if request instance of write request return get authorities write permission dot class that is empty null. That's convoluted. I don't like this at all, but okay, for now, at least it's very clear what's happening. You don't have to like get into my head to understand it, and that's very important. Don't be cute in your code. We all do it, especially me. Okay, so FTP server started. Did it work? Seems to work. All right. I don't love this. I mean, certainly there's some refactoring I would do, like, oh, okay, I don't need this. Goodbye. The default user is fine. I'm initializing the users. So obviously, I think the next step would be to turn this into a Spring app. We don't need the properties one anymore. That's just a relic of a bygone era. We can turn this into a Spring Bean and look for opportunities. I mean, you can imagine our user manager would also publish events, right? Okay, what about the root itself? That property, could be a property, right? So go to application.properties. FTP.root equals $home desktop root. Okay, and then we can just inject that here, or have configuration binding. So configuration properties, enable configuration properties, record FTP properties, file root, configuration properties, FTP properties dot class. Okay, so now we've got Spring Boot property binding, and I can just inject FTP properties here. I can say properties dot get the root. Okay, and then we can inject this rather than using static methods. Get rid of that. Don't need this. The initialization can happen elsewhere. So we can have a I guess we can do it here, right? We can actually have UDM users turn UDM. Throws the exception. Okay. And arguably, this could be inlined. So there's that. Okay. Why does this need to be cast? Okay, should be fine. Where does this thing get its property for root? It should be properties.root, not some hard-coded static value anymore. That's gone. Okay, we've got now our default FTP user debug username. This is the rate. What is it? Exactly. No, it's something. It's 1 minute. No, it's yeah. 1 megabyte equals that. Okay. Let's call it 100. I don't care. Okay, so there's that. Now, what about the concurrent login? I mean, the FTP dot rate equals 1 megabyte. Is there a converter for that in Spring? I don't know. FTP dot concurrent users equals 10. So what is this other property? Logins per IP. Okay, just call that. So int concurrent logins or users. Okay. And is there a way to bind this to a, like, what's Spring conversion service megabytes? I don't know if there is, but type descriptor properties. Okay, Spring Boot. Converting periods. Yeah, you can do like data. Yes, look at that. Okay, 1 megabyte. Data size. Okay, so what does it get converted into? Okay, Spring has data size values that express the size and byte. The property. Oh, interesting. Okay, so data size. Okay, so what do we want? We want no, that's not this. This is the rate. Yeah, okay, that's the rate. So we want a file called rate per second or whatever, you know, and a property called rate. So we're going to use data size rate. Okay, and that means that in theory we can go here, FTP dot rate equals 10 MB. Is that gonna work? I wonder what that'll do. So then we can inject that down here to this. Where did we get the value from that though? I guess we just inject it, huh? Long int data size. I don't know. Well, how do we even get that? What does that value look like? So default user FTP properties rate dot 2 bytes. Yes. Okay. So we need a long here. Rate in bytes. Then we return that here. So this dot rate in bytes. Have it final long rate in bytes. And we just this dot. Fantastic. Okay. So there's that. Okay, let's see what we've got so far. Where are the issues? This is the rate, so we need to specify this in integers. Well, it's a bummer. Oh, I guess this transfer rate permission is, what is this rate? We don't even know, like max download rate. What is the max download rate? It's an integer. Who uses this? Find usages. Okay. Attribute. So it's used in properties user manager. I don't even know where it's used. It's used in what does this thing say? Download rate. Okay, whatever. Moving on. So rate in bytes. We'll just leave it. We'll leave it with that assumption. We need the concurrent users. That's this right here. So we need an integer for that. Int concurrent logins. Okay. Have it final int concurrent logit. Ready? And then that becomes this thing right here, this guy. Good. Okay. Max idle time. Okay, so we need time. I assume this is also not milliseconds, because why would it be an integer? Where is this max idle time used? Why is it an int? Find usages. This base user. Sure. But, oh, it's in seconds. Oh, okay, so we need just 60. You get way too much time otherwise. 60 seconds. So let's say times 5, okay? But we want to express that also as a duration, right? As a Java duration. Okay, so int idle time in seconds. Private final int idle time in seconds. This dot idle time in seconds equals this. All right, good stuff. So let's now return that here. We want to plug that in via property as well. So idle time in seconds. Where's this property? Okay. The next thing that we care about is the properties. That's this one in concurrent log. Wait. The concurrent login. So it's properties dot concurrent users. And then idle time in second properties. We don't have a property for that just yet, do we? Duration. Idle time. Two. What does this do? Does that convert it into seconds? Two seconds. I just want there you go. It's a long, of course it is, but it can't be because I have to turn it. So we're just going to deal with. We're just going to like, if somebody's asking for like 1,000,000 seconds, then that's a problem, and I don't mind throwing a class cast exception if nothing else. Okay, so let's see if this does anything useful. Like we don't have, we got the rate. We don't have the idle time. Duration is going to be p dot this, and it could be a lowercase idle time. And then what do we say? 10 minutes? Is that property? Years? No. 10 lowercase m. Makes sense. Okay. So I want to just see, where can we inject that property? Oh, here we are. So we're going to get access to the properties. Let's just make sure they got converted correctly. All right, properties. Idle time is, what? Is that right? Idle time is 10 minutes. Yes, that's correct. Concurrent users, rate is this. Sure, good, okay. I don't know what those values are, but they look like they were arrived at. They're not null. Okay, proofs in the pudding here. Well, yeah, it seems fine. So, or not. Exit. Okay. Something's wrong. Oh, it's fine. So, okay. I don't know what that's about. It's fine. Okay. So, what's the concurrent value for users? Concurrent logins. Yeah, okay, it's fine. So there we go. I'm pretty pleased. We actually have a working FTP server now that we can programmatically set up, and it spins up on the right port. You can imagine extracting this into an auto configuration, right? Like imagine you just expose this, you give somebody some properties. Now they have just like Tomcat has server.port, you could have FTP.server.port or something like that. Or even better, you could actually even like maybe I don't know, you could probably reuse server.port if there was no other web stuff on the same app. Either way, pretty interesting. I'm gonna try. I have no idea because this is not, most of this code is not Spring, right? It's gonna be all FTP server. Let's just try converting it into a native image. If it doesn't work, we'll call it a day. If it does work, we're gonna call it a day because I have to get to some meetings. But I am curious. Remember, this code is, I think it's Java 8, right? It was not written with GraalVM in mind, surely. The code precedes Java 8 by many years as well. So native compile. Okay, fingers crossed. Who knows? I don't think they're doing all that much reflection anyway, but I'm worried about Apache Mina. Netty has lots of like reflection and native code, and I can only wonder what lay in the bowels of the Apache Mina framework. Okay. I would be really, really pleased if this works. So somebody tried to teach me something the other day. Was it native run? Oh, sad. What just happened there? Okay, we can fix this. FTP server. Let's just, okay, fine. You got me. Static class, hints, implements, runtime, hints registrar, hints dot resources, register resource, and then this file here. Yeah. Import runtime hints. Yes. Yeah. It would be funny if it would be great if they had Joshua mode in this as well. But okay, so come on. It'd be nice if that's the only thing. I do need to like time box this though. Let me see if I can. Okay, what did we get here? Okay, NIO process. So there's doing reflection. I think we know where this is going to go. Okay. My hope is that this code is suitably old, that it doesn't have the sophisticated. Oh, look. What? Huh. Okay. By the way, 0.017 seconds. Imagine getting your own embedded web server, FTP server, in 0.017 seconds. Okay, the real test is, if I go here, desktop, root, JLong, get rid of all that. Now put that. Oh my God, it worked! It's ridiculous. There you go. There's our embedded FTP server that starts up in whatever. Like, what did I just say a second ago? 17 thousandths of a second. And it's completely programmable. And obviously I've hard-coded the users here, but you can imagine using Spring Security or something more interesting to talk to your identity provider of choice. I'm going to commit this code and call it good, friends. We're going to kick the get back on the Spring integration kick tomorrow. This is good. This is a good digression. I need this so we can talk about FTP with Spring integration. And I hope you learned something. I hope you got something out of this. I've used the Apache FTP server in some form or another. So if I go to dropsong.com, that's me. Hi. Content. FTP. Just search. Right? Embedding the Apache Mina FTP server. Here's a blog I wrote back in 2009. And I could look. I wonder if this code would even compile. This is using FTP Server 1.0, right? Where you can see it hasn't moved a lot. This is way before Spring Boot, right? Years, half a decade or more before Spring Boot. So I'm using the XML. Here's how you use the Spring XML namespace, right? You can configure the update user command. Oh, this is for the SQL. There's actually a pre-built, out-of-the-box JDBC-based user password thingy. So if you customize the SQL, it'll just use those queries for you. So that's one thing. And I do something Spring Tips FTP integration. I could have sworn I did. Okay, I did 2020. So what if we go to GitHub? Spring Tips. FTP. Oh no. Okay, so 3 years ago, look at that. 3 years ago, I did Apache Mina as well. Oh, looks like I actually did a better job here. I probably could have just used this code. So here's Spring integration. Oh, look at that. So this is interesting. So if you're doing it, I forgot about this. So tomorrow, what we'll see is that I didn't even think about this. You can actually have Spring integration. When there's a new file on the Apache Mina FTP server, it'll publish a Spring integration message. So you can do both sides. You can say, when there's a new file, as a client, I want a message in my Spring integration code. And also I can have Spring integration as the FTP server responding to when there's a new file in the Apache Mina server. I forgot about that. So this looks very interesting. This makes tomorrow's thing even more fun. How do we do that? Oh, it's the Apache Mina FTP-lit. I wonder what an FTP-lit is. Okay. And so this is 3 years ago. This code, I would, again, 4 years ago. Some of this code is 4 years ago. So it's an old code base. It's probably using Spring Boot 2.x, well, very likely, right? but it's not going to do GraalVM. You know, you saw we had to do a lot of work for GraalVM native images. Look at that. You know. Okay, we'll revisit this tomorrow with an eye towards making this. I was going to show the client side, but I can't wait to show the server side now, because now I'm excited to see what that looks like once we have GraalVM and native images and Spring Boot 3.0 and all this good stuff. All right, my friends, it's been fun. I hope you got something out of it. Hope you learned something. We'll kick it off tomorrow. Have a great one. Thanks for joining me. Oh, you know, other videos. Go watch those. It'll be fun. Bye.